morning, everybody. Cindy Utter here with my artsy endeavors today. How we doing? I'm doing pretty good. First thing I'd like to say is thank you very much, Gina, for allowing me to become a part of your design team. These are Gina Aaron's stamps. I've got the first set that she sent that she actually had made, which there's some stamp stuff there. This is the first set. I haven't put my white paper on these yet, like this one. This is her second set. This is the newest set of stamps, okay? And what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to play around with these stamps. We're going to stamp some of these images. Sorry about the glare. I think that's from my overhead light. We're going to stamp some of these images, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to use them on canvases or cards, or we'll see what the muse does, okay? So let's check it out. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this process, and let's get some stuff made with Gina's stamps. These are fantastic. Hold on just a minute. Alright, so what we've got here is I've got just some plain old white cardstock, and then I have some plain old white computer paper or printer paper. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stamp these designs on both, because it really depends on how I want to use the image as to which paper I'm going to use, and it also depends on how I'm going to color it, whether I'm going to color it with watercolors or I'm going to use alcohol ink markers. It just really depends. So I'm going to start out with, this is with one of the faces from the new line of Gina's stamps, and let's just get her down here. How cool is that? Fantastic, right? Now when I get these out, this is what I tend to do. I tend to stamp quite a few different images, because I actually have this folder that I put them in, and then when I want the image again, I just go ahead and take them out of my folder, and here they are. Alright, so there's the first one. Let's do the second face. I love these faces. They're just sketchy and cool. So, what is on my stamp? Little piece of paper. Alright, so here's the second one. Got a little bit on the side here. That's okay, no problem. I can cut that off. Perfect. Perfect. We'll do one more. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing with these faces again on the copy paper, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've done the faces. I've done them on a piece of cardstock and a piece of copy paper. Okay, now I'm actually going to start working on the words, and what I did is I basically took a whole bunch of the words and I put them on here, and I'm going to stamp them all at once. I have found that this is a huge time saver. I have found that it's great to have words on hand, so if you're doing something in a project and you want just one little word, say always. You know, it's great to have them. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to print these on cardstock, and then I'm going to print them on copier paper, just because depending on which part or what project I'm working on will depend on which paper I'm going to use. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I bet you can't guess what's next. We have the words done. Again, one on cardstock, one on copy paper. So the words are done. Birds! Birds, birds, birds! I have a hair on my stamp pad, my ink pad here. Alright, we're going to do some birds. This is the cardstock, and I'm just using archival ink because, again, I don't know what type of project I'm going to end up doing with these, so I do want to have an ink that's not going to run or smear, hence why I'm using the archival ink. Look at that. Check out those birds. Aren't they awesome? So this is going to be fun. I enjoy playing with stamps. I have found with stamps you can use them in so many different ways, whether you're just going to do embossing with them, you're going to put them on cards, you're going to put them in your art journal, you're going to anything. You can do so much with them. Now I know I'm going to cut some of these birds off, but that's okay. I do want to use up a little bit of this white space I have here, so I'm just going to get the best ones I can here. And if I cut some off, that's alright. See, they're okay. Maybe I'll use this little guy somewhere. Let's see. I think that's about it, though. All right, let's do that on copy paper. And then we can get to doing some creating with these stamps. So I'll do that and I'll be back. Okay, so I was just playing around and I got thinking, this is fantastic. I could actually take those birds and put them all over in different ways on my block here, and that would be a fantastic background for a journal page, wouldn't it? That'd be really cool, so we might have to try that in a bit. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my cardstock together and my copier paper together. And I think we're going to get out some small canvases and we're going to start playing. Be right back. Okay, so the first thing I've got here is I've got 4 small canvases. Okay, these are 4x4. They're Premier by Nicole. I got these, I believe, either in Hobby Lobby or Michael's or AC Moore. It says AC Moore on here. So I got these in an AC Moore. Nothing, you know, nothing special, just small, cheap canvases. I think they were like $2.99 or $3.99, something like that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a nice coat of gesso on them. I am going to do the sides. That's one thing I recommend. Don't ever forget your sides. When you're doing a canvas, always make sure you get your sides because it looks kind of funny hanging on the wall with just plain old white sides. So we're just going to get messy. I've gotten out some Dilution paints. I'm sorry, not Dilution, I apologize. Some Dina Wakley paints. I've got some Golden Fluid acrylics sitting here in front of me. And we're just going to play, and we're going to use some Gina stamps and make some cute little canvases. Doesn't that sound like fun? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start fast forwarding through this process, and we'll be back in a bit. Alright, so what I've done is I've got these all coated with gesso. Whoops. And we're going to get paint on that one. They're almost all dry. And what I'm doing is on my little palette here on the side, I'm putting down some Dina Wakley paints. I've got the pink, the orange, or tangerine I should say, the magenta, the tangerine, the yellow, which is lemon. I have the lime. I have the lapis, I have the turquoise, and I have the blackberry violet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of her brushes. I love these brushes. They have a thick or a stiffer, what do you call it, bristles. So that way you can actually rub stuff in. I really like it. Alright, so what I want to do first of all is I don't want it to be hugely overdone. So let's take this and slow it down a little bit. Remember what I said about the sides? We got to make sure we get these sides. I don't really care if they're all colors or a color, as long as they're a color that's in the palette. I'm good with it because we got to have the sides done. Alright, let me get some more of this pink. Right now I'm using a mixture of the tangerine, the pink, and the yellow. Let's put some more yellow on here. A little bit more tangerine. Let's bring in the pink again. All I'm doing is just putting down a first layer of paint. It's nothing special, nothing crazy. We're just going to get some paint down there, right? Okay, so we have some paint there. Let's do this on the next one. This one, let's see. This one, I'm going to go more into the blues. Let's go into the blues. Ooh, we got mud. We got mud, girls. No problem. This one may end up, who knows? We're just playing. We got purple. Let me clean that brush. Let's see if we can get this one. Let's get blue going in here. Our blue and our purple. There we go. Again, this is just, I'm just putting some paint down. I'm not doing, you know, I'm not trying to make it look beautiful. I just want it covered. The beautiful comes later. Let's cover up that orange there. Okay, so there's two. Let's wipe off my brush a little bit. This one's going to be a light blue and green, looks like. Throw a little of the dark blue in there. Again, same thing, I'm just putting some color down. A little bit more of this green. More fun, isn't it? A little bit more of this blue up in here. There we go. Alright, that one's down. And let's get a little bit more, let's see. I'm going to take a little bit more yellow. Actually, I have yellow down. Let's take a little bit more turquoise. A little bit more pink. Or magenta, as Dina Wakely likes to call it, magenta. I call it pink. And again, I'm just putting color down. That's all I'm doing, just getting some color on here. I'm not really looking for anything specific or fantastic, okay? We're just putting color down. So now we have 4 backgrounds with some color, so let's dry them up and we'll be right back. Alright, so these are pretty well dry. Now I'm going to start one at a time. So I'm going to start with this one. I've pulled out some different stencils that I have here. I'm going to be using the same paints that I was using when I did the original colors. I've got a small cosmetic brush here, and I'm just going to, ooh, that's a little bit too much paint in that. See what happens when it's too much paint? You don't really see it. So, what you do, take a baby wipe and you say, yeah, that's too much, that's too much. Okay, all gone. Alright, let's try it again. Let's do this one. Okay, well, a little bit better. Alright, I don't want a whole lot on here. Let's do some purple. Maybe a little bit of the blue. Just to give it something. Just a little bit of the background. I can tell you right now this one's going darker than I want it to, but we're going to have to fix that. Alright, let's go back in with this one. Let's do some of that pink. You know what it is? I've got the small palette out instead of the bigger one today. I'm not sure why I decided I needed a small one, but it's okay. This is just a piece of Punchella. I guess that's what you call it. It's what they make the sequins out of. Get some green in there. Yeah, these are just going to have all kinds of layers of stuff because right now I'm not liking the layers. So we're going to be changing that. Got another stencil here, which I'm going to use. Yeah, I'm not liking it. So you know what? I do like that. Hold that thought. All right, this is what I'm gonna do, and you guys are gonna think I'm totally insane. Out of all these right now, I'm not liking the way these are going. This one I like the way it did that background, so I'm gonna keep this green and blue one. The rest of them though, I took all that paint that was left on that palette, and guess what? They're all gonna get covered up. Just because I can. I'm just using all this paint here because I actually have to get my other palette out. That one's just too small for what I'm doing today. So these are just going to have an array of colors, right? All right. Don't mind me today. I am in one of those strange moods today. I think it's because I looked outside and wanted to cry because it's snowing again. I'm tired of the snow. All right, so I'm going to dry these up, then we're going to continue and start building on these. All right, now while I'm putting some more paint on my palette, I want to talk to you about what I just did. I could have shut off the camera and said, oh my God, what am I doing? What a mess. Instead, I just showed you that sometimes when you sit down and play in your art, things don't go the way you expect them to. They don't come out exactly the way you like. You may see something in one that, you know, oh, I really wish that would come out looking like such and such, okay? That doesn't mean give up, all right? What it means is, okay, step back, let's take a look, and let's see what we're gonna do to fix the problem. So I think my key here is just don't ever give up on your art. Play with it. Look at it as a challenge. You know, when you've got an issue going on, hey, it's a challenge. What can I do to make this look beautiful now? And I'm going to do it. Let me bring you down in a little bit. All right, so what I've done is I've gotten out my bigger palette. This is a tin you can buy in any of the craft stores. I actually had to put a thing on the bottom of it. It doesn't sit straight, and that drives me crazy. But anyways, so now what I'm going to do is I've got a stencil here. I've got just a plain old makeup sponge. And now I'm actually going to start making this canvas look good. Alright, I like. Okay, so just very simple. We started. Alright, let's look at another one. Gonna let that dry. This one, I want to bring out some of that pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another piece of this sponge, same sponge. Just go into my pink here. Kind of doing this around the edge. Now that doesn't show up as much as I would like it to, but that's okay. I know it's there. It's just another layer. Not a problem. Alright, see that one didn't show up as much. That's okay. This one I really like. I like the way that shows. I want to get some more green on there. This one I want to bring out the purple. Actually the blue I think I'm going to do. The blue. So I've got another cosmetic sponge here. Just go back in with that lapis. And let's pull that out. Alright, there we go. Okay, we still have a long ways to go on these, but I wanted to show you that it's okay. You can do this. It can be done. I think I'm going to go back in with the yellow on this one. We did the pink, right? And I'm not liking that so much, so now I'm going to go back in with the yellow. Brighten it back up again. Okay, yeah, this one's going to be my trouble one. This is going to be my trouble canvas. Alright, so, and I wanted the green. I didn't put any green on my tray yet, so let's take this lime back out. Throw it on my tray. I'm going to take one of these sponges I've already used, just use another side. Take that lime. I like it. Now, I also like this blue, so I'm going to go back in again and take the dark blue on the other part of the sponge. Now, should I be doing the sides of these with the stencil? Yeah, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to make sure that they have the same colors that's on the actual canvas itself. Okay. Alright, those are much nicer. Let's go ahead and get them dried up, and we will continue. Okay, so we have them pretty well dry. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this texture paste. This is the Ranger texture paste. I wanted to use my Viva modeling cream, but I don't have any in a green. So I'm taking a little bit of the texture paste, and I'm going to take some dilution paint and mix myself up here a little bit of green. Yay! Put a little bit more. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stencil. This is a, I think, Crafter's Workshop. Yep, Crafter's Workshop stencil. And I need some texture on here, and I really like this little limb here. So that is going to go right there. Does it have to be perfect? Nope. And it's not. Haha. See, isn't that cute? Alright, I'm actually going to put a little bit more on. Let's say, maybe I'll do coming down this way a little bit. Because I bet you can't guess, we're going to have birdies on this one. We're going to have some birdies, and I like to have some trees. So there we go. Let's go. Let's see if I can do this without messing up my other one. My chair is moving. As I'm sitting here do this, I'm spinning. Alright, there we go. Now we have some leaves on there. So we're going to let that dry. Okay, now on these two canvases, I'm getting so I have this one little spot here to work in. I want a little bit of pop, but I don't want anything crazy. So I like this coral. Again, the Crafter's Workshop. This is a coral pattern. So I'm going to use some of my modeling cream, and I'm going to do this one in copper. And I just want a little bit of something on here. So we're going to do a little bit of a copper pop. I like it. Okay. Let's see, I might do maybe a little bit right here on this corner. Don't want a whole lot, I just want something little. Just to give it that depth, give it that texture. And we're just gonna do, let's see. My fingers are going in paint and in everything else. Let's just do a little down the side here. Just a little bit. Alright, now we're going to let that one dry. Now because these are kind of the same colors, I'm going to do the same thing on this one. This one's going to be a little bit different. Let's put this down here. I love using this cream. It is just so flexible, and it dries reasonably quick, and I'll tell you, I can't say enough about this stuff. I just really like it. We're going to throw a little bit here on the corner. It works really well. It's just an easy texture to apply. Let's see, and we're going to do a little bit right here. Okay, I'm just going to wipe that. Alright, so I'm just going to let these two dry. And let's see what we're going to do to our next one. Alright, so now we've got our fourth canvas here, and this one I'm going to use my Viva modeling paste or modeling cream, and this is Marine. Gosh, I love this stuff. It's so cool. I keep saying that. Sorry, but I do. Look at that. It's just, look how creamy it is. It's just creamy and delicious. Anyways, I'm going to take this stencil, and I'm not sure what it is because I've covered it all up. This is how I store them in my binder. Sometimes I add masking tape around them just because they store in the binder a lot better that way. So anyways, I'm going to take this Marine And we're going to put some leaves on this one. Need just a touch more. And we're going to let these all dry. And then I think we're going to come back in with some golden fluid acrylics and play around with those, and who knows what else. We'll be right back. Okay, so now, while I'm waiting for those canvases to dry, what I did is I fussy cut. Yes, I fussy cut out Gina's stamps, okay? And I pretty much have an idea of how I'm going to put them on the 4 different canvases. So now what I've done is I brought out my watercolor palette. This is actually a mixture of, there's Koi watercolors, there are Grumbacher, and there is Daler Rowney, I believe. Yeah, I think that's about it. And what I did is I just wet the palette. Now what I want to do is I want to give these just a touch of color. I don't want a whole lot because I want them to be able to stand out on the canvas, but I just want to give them just a touch. Just a little bit. I don't, you know, it's not going to be superbly perfect. I just want a little bit of color. I'm going to go over her. This is now, just so you know, this one is on copier paper. All of these, except for this. This one's on watercolor paper. Yeah, you could do it on watercolor paper. I just decided that I was going to use the copier paper this time. And that's okay. It's all good. Like I said, I'm just adding a little bit of color to her. Nothing crazy. I don't know why I say that. Why do I say that? Nothing crazy. I think because there are so many people that think about doing art, and it's very complicated. And it, you know, yeah, there are some things. If you're looking for perfection, it's going to be very complicated. But if you're looking to have fun, it's nothing crazy, right? This is just a pale orange that I'm using from the watercolor, just to give her a little bit of a fleshy look. Not perfect by any means. I don't intend it to be. I don't want it to be. Okay. Now these guys I've decided are going to go on these two canvases that look quite a bit alike. So what I'm going to try to do is I want to bring out certain colors in there. And, woo! I just threw away my water brush. Let me bring this over here where I need it. That would help, Cindy. I got too much stuff on my desk again. Alright, let's put you right there. Okay, what I want to do is I want to try to color coordinate with my... Now I lost my paintbrush. Hold on a second. Oh my gosh, I'm crazy, right? Alright, so I found my brush. It was in the thing. What I was saying is I want to bring out some different colors that are on these canvases. I have some of the yellow and I have some of the darker blue. So that's what I'm going to do with her hair. I'm actually going to start out with the bluer. The bluer. Again, I don't want it huge in color. I just want to add a little bit of color to it. Just give her a little bit of this blue. Now what I have underneath here again is just a piece of copier paper. It's no big deal. You know, I can use it to wipe my brush on. I can use it to whatever I need to, and I can just use this later on for either a piece of collage or whatever the case may be. A little bit on her face, no big deal. I want to bring in some of that darker blue. There we go. Just bringing in a little bit just to highlight her a little. Bring out some dark spots here and there. Woo! She's going flying. There she is. Again, I just want to say, Gina, thank you so much for this opportunity. I love to play with stamps, and this is just a lot of fun being able to use your stamps and play. It's great. Okay, so we've got some blue in her hair. Let's give her, we gotta give her some red lips, right? Let's give her a little tiny bit of red lips. There, whoops, that one I missed. That wasn't a oops, or that was an oops, I should say. Oops. Let's see how good we are at picking it back up off. Nope, that's okay. All right, now we're going to give her just a touch of eyeshadow right there, just a little hint of purple. Just a hint. Okay, now I'm going to just leave her alone for a bit and let her dry. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue this with the rest of them using the watercolors, and then we'll be right back. Okay, look at this crazy hot mess, and if you notice, somebody here decided that they wanted to help me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these dry really well, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to start getting them put on the canvases and start finishing these up, see how they turn out. We'll be back shortly. Okay, so now we've got everything here, we've got it all dry. Here's where we're going to start putting some of this stuff together. Now because I did these with watercolors, yes I know, I have to be very, very careful. So what I'm using is I'm using a super heavy matte medium, and I'm just going to put some on the back here of my little birdie. And this little guy is going to go right up here. Now yes, I know I use watercolor, but as long as you make it quick and don't do a whole lot of messing around with this, you can use a wet medium on top. There you go, boom. It's done. It didn't hurt the color, it didn't hurt the paper. Okay, so this little guy, put some on the back, and my cat is calling me. I'm not sure what's up with that. She's in the other room howling. She's mad. So this guy is going to sit right down here. Now there's going to be a lot more that I need to do to these. I'm definitely going to bring out some pens and play around, give them some more dimension. But for now I just wanted to get them put down. Now this one, I have Treasure Life, I have Faith. I'm not sure which one I'm going to put on here yet. I think I'm going to put Treasure Life. Let's do that. Let's put Treasure Life on here. Sound good? Here's Treasure. Take a little bit more of this. Put some on the back of the Life. Okay, now we're going to let that dry, and we're going to do the same to these. Let's work on this one. Isn't this cool? This is that marine. It turned out really neat. I love it. I love the way it looks on this canvas. So this big guy is going to go on here. I'm going to sit him kind of in his nest. And again, the same thing. Even though I used watercolor on him, as long as I'm careful and don't overdo it, I can continue to use it on this. And we'll just put them right down. Right? Really all this is doing is putting a sealer down. See, I pulled up a little bit of that blue. It's okay. It's all good. Alright. And his Faith, I'm going to put Faith up here. Now like I said, I am going to take some, see a little bit of that color came off, which is fine. It's no big deal. I'm going to put Faith right up here. I am going to use other gel pens and that kind of stuff on these once they dry. So there's that guy. And now we have these two girls. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't really want any blue on this next one other than what I've got. So I'm just cleaning off my palette knife. Now I have these two girls here. Got this one here. See, we've got Dream Big. And I have this one here with Imagine. Alright, I'm going to put these down. Now what I really should be using is my blue book. And right off the top of my head I can't find it. Alright, so now I'm using my glue book because I would just notice I was getting stuff on there and I don't want it on the back of the canvases. So this is just an old phone book. I call it my glue book. It's great. You glue something down. Okay, we're going to glue her right down there. I'm going to take the Dream Big. And what happens is when you get glue, like I have a lot of glue on that page now, no big deal. Flip it over, we have a new page. And to be honest with you, who uses phone books anymore? I couldn't tell you the last time I opened a phone book other than for this. Alright, I want this Dream Big to go right here under her. Okay, now I'm going to make sure I have a coating on her, just to keep it down a little bit better. And make sure she stays right there on that canvas. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. Bring her over on my glue book. She's going to go down right there. We're going to take Imagine. Imagine's going to go right there. Okay, and then the same thing. We're just going to put a nice coating over top of them to keep them down. And it also seals that watercolor. So if I decide to use something else on it and I don't like it and I want to wipe it off, I won't ruin the color. Alright, let's let those dry and we'll be right back. Alright, so now here's where we start putting these together, and my battery's gonna die. I need to change out my battery. Be right back. Alright, let me bring you back down. See my mess? Look at my mess on my desk. Let me bring you back in. Alright, now we're gonna start putting these together, and of course this battery is almost dead as well. So I'm letting the other one charge for a few minutes while I do this. Alright, the first thing I'm gonna do, I've got a couple paper flowers here that I used die to cut out. And I have these brads that have these twirlies on them. Now, I'm not really fond of, I'm debating whether or not I should use the brad. I think I'm gonna. But I like the fact that it's just a white twirly. So I'm going to use this brad. I'm going to flatten it out. And this is going to go right here. Aleene's Tacky Glue to the rescue. So we are going to glue this on here, right there. Now another thing I have here is I use a lot of buttons, and these are just fancy buttons, and I cut the shanks off them. I just use a pair of regular wire cutters to cut the shanks off. And I think this is going to go right here in her hair. Now before I do too much more on this, I want to let these two pieces dry because I don't want them to fall off. So let's leave them there. We're going to do a little bit on her. This one with the Imagine, I found this beautiful little crown because my granddaughter's a princess, so I have lots of crowns and princess things. So I think this goes right here well on her hair. Not sure what we're going to do here yet, but we'll find something. I may do a few swirlies here and there. I'm not really sure. I also had a piece of paper out here. Little flowers. I don't know, we might use that. We'll see. But for her, we're just going to set that aside for right now. This little guy, he's so cute. I love these little clear buttons. They're clear but glittery buttons, so we're going to use those. I just thought they looked really pretty sitting here on his little nest. And this glue, of course, you know, will dry clear, so it's no big deal. We don't have to worry about that. I had one more. There it is. Let's move you down a little bit. Just right there, just to give it a little bit of sparkle. And then I found this little button. It's a purple flower. That's going to be right on the end of his tail. Her tail, its tail, the tail, however you want to do it. Alright, set that aside. And now we have these little guys. I need to get some pens out because I'm going to work with on some of those leaves with pens. But before I do that, I want to use a little bit of my Distress inks here. And I've got some actual just paper leaves that I've cut out. Again, this is just using a die cut. Just want to give them a little bit of oomph on the outsides there. These guys are going to go down here. Just to give it a little bit more. And then once we get done putting all this wonderful stuff on, then we get to get out the pens and the oil pastels and whatever else, you know, the glitters and the pearl pens and that kind of stuff to add some more detail. And I think we're going to find a little button to go right there on those 3 leaves because I like that right there. So let me go ahead and find my button and we'll be right back. Okay, so I found some little blue buttons. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue down these leaves. Let's get back there. They're cute. And I got a pretty blue button which is going to bring out this dark blue on the canvas. Another blue button I just decided needs to go right here. And we'll put a third right here. Okay, now we're going to wait for all this stuff to dry. I still need to figure out something else. I may do some flowers on here, and then we'll go in and start finishing up the details, and we'll be all set. Chat with you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. What you guys did not just see is I just did an entire overhaul of my cart while I was waiting for these to dry, so now I'm like really hot. But anyways, alright, let's get back to finishing up these. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, this is a multi-ball pilot pen. It's like the Scarlet Lime pens, and I'm just going to wake up Gina's lines here a little bit because I covered them all over with paint, and just get them to stand out a little bit. I'm still going to keep them sketchy. I don't plan on you know, making them perfect, so we're just going to sketchy up her lines a little. Now if you'd like to try out Gina's stamps, I will put a link in the bottom of my video below. She has them on her Etsy shop. I do believe you can get them either in wood mount or in cling mount. I don't know the prices right off the top. You'll have to check. Okay. Alright, let's do this little guy. For some reason his little feather thingy here didn't get colored. Don't know why. I didn't color him. Again, if you're going to use any type of a pen, whether it's over watercolor or acrylic or whatever paint, just make sure your paint is really dry. It works much better and you don't ruin as many pens that way. I've ruined quite a few doing it on not dry enough paint. So, alright, let's just get these guys in here. So definitely check out Gina's link below, and again, I'm very honored and very thankful that she allowed me to be on her team, which I'm really excited about that. Alright, I like them. Now I want to go around this Treasure Life, but I'd like to do it in, let's see if we can do it with this glitter pen. Put a little bit of glitter on here. Just doing it with the blue. Now originally I was going to go through and I was going to put you know, green behind those leaves. You never know, I still may. Let's see what else we have over here. This is a Derwent leaf green. So I am going to put some on here. This is a watercolor pencil. So I will take my watercolor pen that's empty as soon as I find a full one. Alright, I went and filled it up. This is the bigger one. I don't know where my smaller one is for the time being, but we're just going to use this one for now. Come on. This has a lot of water coming out of it. Alright, I just want to put a little bit of a shadow down in there. Nothing, you know, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Okay. Alright, the last thing I want to do with this, or I can't say the last thing, you never know, I might change my mind, is I want to bring the lettering back out. And again, I'm just doing that with this Pilot multi-ball. I'm following Gina's writing that was on her stamps. And this one says Treasure Life. I got it a little bit off, but that's okay. It's the sketchy look, right? Okay, I've got a Uniball pasta here that's got some glitter in it. And I think I'm just gonna throw some glitter maybe on these leaves. Why not, right? Okay, I think I'm going to call this one just about done. So there's number one, and let's keep going. We'll let that dry. Dream Big. Alright, let's see here. We're going to take our Dream Big and debating if I want to do this in purple or blue. I think I'm going to do it in light purple maybe. Again, this is another Derwent. I'm just going to play around here a little bit with this. Just give it a little bit of color here and there. A little pop. Throw a little bit of shirt on her hair. Not that she really needs one, but we're going to give her one. Okay, I want just a touch of white in her eye. Oops, that covered up her whole eye. So we're just doing a touch. Again, I'm going to do the same thing with the lettering. Just going to wake it back up again from putting all that watercolor on it. And putting on the glue or the matte medium over top of it. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep my head out of the camera too. Sometimes I wonder why I do art, because my hands shake so bad some days. I think that's part of the chronic pain, and I think it's part of the pain meds that does that. But it is what it is. So we're waking up Dream Big. Now we've got little tiny dots in here that Gina has put in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blue and just put in the dots in the glitter. Okay, and I think we'll put a few dots around here just to make it all fit in together. Alright, put a couple dots on here. Just kind of bring it all in together a little bit. Alright, I like her. I think we're going to say she's good. So we're going to put her aside. This one, I still need to do something here. I'm not happy with this big blank spot, so we have to find something, but let's do this one instead. This one, same thing, I'm going to go in. I've got to do something with the blue around this yellow because this is just a little bit too yellow. But again, I'm going to bring out the lettering. And this one, it's got the purple, but I want a little bit more of this blue out. So I'm going to take the blue and put in the blue glitter. Alright, I like it. I want some blue here. Actually, no, I want some yellow. And, let me see if I can find some yellow glitter. Okay, I did. I've got some Studio G yellow glitter. That actually works. It's always a good thing. And I'm just gonna, these actually have 3 buttonholes, I believe, so I'm just gonna put some yellow glitter right here where the buttons might be, or the holes may be. Can't really see it like this, but I'm hoping once it dries, you'll actually be able to notice it. Put big enough globs on there we can, right? Alright, see? There's just a little bit of yellow on that, which I think is cool. Okay, now I'm also going to take, let's see, I don't have yellow. I do have a purple Posca, which is purple glitter. And I just want to go around this. Again, just to kind of add it in here. And then I'm going to take this blue and put big globs on, which is not what I meant to do. But you know what? It's okay. It's going to stay there. Because apparently they were supposed to be on there. Alright, so this guy I'm going to call complete. And back to this one. I've got to look and see what I can find. I want to put some type of a flower or something right here. Let's see what we can find for this. Alright, so what I found is I have a package of these. They're floral embellishments by Petty Lou. And I found this little stem here that I like. However, I think it's a little bit too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one leaf off here. I'm going to cut the other one off. Because I like the flowers. So now I'm actually going to cut all the flowers off. And these stems on the flowers. Because I don't need them. It just adds extra to the canvas that we have to try to keep glued down. So we're going to start by putting this one down. And I may have made a mistake by cutting these off, but we'll find out here shortly. I'm going to take the leaf. It's going to go up underneath. Okay. We're going to take this leaf and go up underneath on this side. Now I'm going to have to glue these really well to keep them on here, because when I cut off the backs of them, the flat part's not there anymore. They're standing like on a tip. So I'll just make sure they're glued really well. like that. That's much better. So we'll make sure that stays glued down. Check those in a little bit once they dry. Whoa! I set it on some glue. Darn it. Okay, so now back to this. I'm going to do the same thing with the lettering. I'm sorry this video is so long, but I just wanted to show you the process, and you know, I am actually doing 4 canvases. Be right back. Okay, so unfortunately I had to get that phone call, but what I've done is I've pretty much finished these up. I've got quite a bit of different glitter and that sort of thing on them. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please check out Gina's sites. I'll make sure I have the links in the description box below. And as always, have fun. That's what life's all about, and happy creating. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.